northwest of Southern village, Anyang, Henan province. The year is 1976. Archaeologist Zhang Zhensan leads her team in surveying a Shan dynasty palace site to land the villagers had planned to flatten for farming. The team moved in just before the bulldozers arrived. And in that moment, Zhang Zhensan's instincts proved decisive. Her trained eye detected something unusual. The soil beneath her feet was unnaturally compacted, its texture distinct from the surrounding earth. Years of experience told her instantly, something must be buried here. A probe rod was driven into the ground. When it was pulled back up, the soil it brought to the surface contained fragments of red lacquer and an intact jade pendant. The tomb was real, and it lay directly below. But trouble soon followed. The tomb, over 7 meters deep, had long been submerged by groundwater. The archaeological team set up pumps, working day and night to drain it. As the muddy water gradually receded, the tomb floor slowly emerged, and everyone held their breath. At Yinshu, centuries of looting had left the royal cemetery riddled with tunnels, its treasures long gone. Of all the royal tombs ever found here, not one had survived untouched. Until now. This tomb was completely undisturbed, sealed and silent for over 3,000 years, exactly as it had been left. The tomb chamber measures just over 20 square meters, yet it was crammed with nearly 2,000 burial artifacts, bronze vessels, jade carvings, cowrie shells, pottery. The bronze alone weighed 1.6 tons. And the inscriptions cast into these bronzes called out the same name again and again, Fu Hao. This name appears over 200 times in oracle bone inscriptions. Scholars knew she led armies into battle, presided over sacred rituals, and was the queen of Shan dynasty ruler U Ding. But those were just words etched into turtle shells and animal bones. Until this moment, when text and tangible history finally converged. Today, through the tomb of this female general, we step into that 3,200-year-old dynasty of the oracle bones. From high above, we look down on a landscape where history was forged. Around 1300 BCE, a powerful ruler named Pan Zheng led his people across the Yellow River, settling on the banks of the Wan River. Here, they built their capital, a city that would stand for over 2 centuries, until the end of their dynasty, the Shang, one of China's earliest archaeologically confirmed dynasties. Later generations would call this land Yin, which is why the Shan dynasty is also known as the Yin Shan. After the dynasty fell, this place slowly fell into ruin, becoming a wasteland that the Zhou people would name Yinshu, the remains of Yin. But to the Shan people themselves, this place was never called Yin. In the oracle bone inscriptions unearthed here, they proudly referred to their capital as Da-i-Shan, the great city of Shan. Archaeological surveys of this ancient capital may shatter everything you thought you knew about cities of the ancient world. Spanning roughly 36 square kilometers equal to 5,000 football fields. This sprawling metropolis lacks something fundamental: city walls. Instead, the Waned River cuts through its heart, while the southwest approaches to the royal palace and ancestral temple complex are protected by a massive man-made trench. Ranging from 10 to 20 meters wide and 5 to 10 meters deep, this trench connected directly to the Huan River, encircling the core of the city. This trench was their city wall. The city's layout was orderly and purposeful. On the southern bank of the Wind River stood the palace and ancestral temple complex, where nearly 100 rammed earth building foundations lined up in order. Across the river, the northern bank held the royal burial grounds, where Shan kings of successive generations lay at rest. Beyond the city center stretched industrial quarters, bronze foundries, bone carving workshops, jade processing centers, and pottery kilns. With distinct divisions of labor and immense scale, this was among the most concentrated industrial hubs of its time. But the city's sophistication ran much deeper. Within the palace precinct, archaeologists uncovered ceramic underground drainage pipes, including T-shaped junctions that channeled water from different directions into a single outflow. The pipe connections mirrored modern drainage systems almost exactly. 3,000 years ago, Shan craftsmen were already using modular design to tackle urban flooding. But this city possesses a quality impossible to ignore. It is a place where life and death coexist, a realm where the palaces of the living stand separated only by a river from the tombs of the dead. In this theocratic society, departed ancestors were not mere ghosts. They were the ultimate sovereigns, still governing the kingdom from another realm. Perhaps the defense they truly relied on was never the city walls, but the protection of those who came before. Now, let's step through the gate of a Shan nobleman's residence and glimpse his daily life. Dawn would rouse him not with a rooster's crow, but possibly the trumpeting of a domesticated elephant. Yes, 3,000 years ago, the Central Plains enjoyed a warm, humid climate where not just pigs, sheep, and cattle thrived, but elephants and rhinos roamed the land. Scholars note that the character Yu, the abbreviated name for modern Henan province, was written in oracle bone inscriptions to likely depict a person standing alongside an elephant, a distant echo of the region's once rich biodiversity. Breakfast might start with a bowl of thick millet porridge, served alongside fermented pickles. But assume these people only ate humble grains and you'd be mistaken. In one tomb at Yinshu, archaeologists made a remarkable discovery. Inside a bronze tripod cauldron, preserved through oxidation and mineralization, lay the remains of a stew. The meat still retained distinct tissue structures, leading some scholars to jokingly call it the world's oldest fossil braised pork. Drinking wine with meals was a way of life. The Shan people elevated winemaking to unprecedented heights, transforming it into a state-level ritual. Wine served not only as an offering to ancestral spirits, but also as an everyday beverage. Among the bronze artifacts unearthed by archaeologists, wine vessels dominate. Their variety is staggering, with over a dozen specialized types for storing, warming, drinking, and pouring. One particular vessel reveals a fascinating detail. The fermented wine consumed by Shan nobility likely contained sediment, so they may have slipped a hollow plant stem into the vessel, sipping the wine through it much the way we drink bubble tea today. This could well be humanity's earliest known straw cup. When he travels, he rides in a two-wheeled chariot, China's first fully developed carriage, adorned with ornate bronze fittings and the most advanced means of transport and warfare of its time. But controlling it is no easy task. In the oracle bone inscriptions, we see that before setting out, the Shan king often performs solemn divinations, asking the spirits, will this journey be safe? Will the chariot overturn? The Shan people, feasting on braised meat and fine wine, were also deeply religious zealots. The Shan kings were not just rulers, they were high priests. When they prayed for rain or victory in battle, they believed only the most powerful of offerings could reach their ancestors. And in their worldview, the most powerful offering of all was this: human life. In the royal cemetery of Yinshu, archaeologists have uncovered over 2,500 sacrificial pits. Within these pits lie thousands of human remains, many of them decapitated prisoners of war. During the largest single ritual, a single pit could contain dozens, even hundreds of remains. Most of these individuals came from groups conquered by the Shan dynasty, such as the Chan people, frequently mentioned in oracle bone inscriptions. The tombs of Shan kings were never truly sealed. Instead, they functioned as ongoing sites of ritual worship, repeatedly open to add new human sacrifices before being covered again. This is one reason why so many of these royal tombs were severely disturbed, even in ancient times. We need not shy away from the brutality of these practices. Throughout human history, countless civilizations have engaged in similar forms of human sacrifice. What makes the Shan unique is that they documented it all with unflinching clarity and precision, through their oracle bone inscriptions. Beyond life itself, they offered their most advanced technology to the gods: bronze. The Ding, a massive three-legged bronze cauldron used in royal rituals, stands as the ultimate testament to this power. Housed in China's National Museum, the Homu Wu Ding, literally the great cauldron of Queen Mother Wu, weighs an astonishing 832 kilograms. A crucial note: this colossal vessel was not created for Fuhol. King Wuding of the Shan dynasty had many wives. This monumental cauldron was commissioned by the son of another of his queens, mobilizing the entire kingdom's resources to honor his late mother. To cast this masterpiece required over 1,000 kilograms of copper, tin, and lead. Hundreds of craftsmen labored in perfect coordination. This was more than a work of art, it was a display of state-level organizational prowess. To understand this paradox of cruelty and splendor, let us return to Fuhol's tomb. What made this woman so extraordinary? First, she was a genuine warrior queen. Among the artifacts unearthed lay 2 massive bronze axes that served as symbols of supreme military authority, each more ceremonial than functional, and each weighing 9 kilograms. Oracle bone inscriptions reveal she once commanded an army of 13,000 men. In an era when the Shang dynasty's standing army numbered only a few tens of thousands, this meant King Wuding had entrusted her with a significant portion of the entire kingdom's military might. Beyond her military command, she was staggeringly wealthy. Her tomb yielded nearly 2,000 burial artifacts, bronze vessels totaling 1.6 tons, 755 finely carved jade pieces, and nearly 7,000 cowrie shells. Currency imported from the distant South China Sea, their very origin a testament to her far-reaching power and wealth. Yet to dismiss her as merely a ruthless warlord would be a grave mistake. Artifacts reveal a woman deeply passionate about life's pleasures. There is her jade phoenix, carved from the finest nephrite with impossibly fluid lines. She sipped wine from ivory cups inlaid with turquoise. And the tomb contained dozens of bone hairpins, simple yet elegant accessories, speaking to one woman's timeless pursuit of beauty, 3 millennia ago. Even more poignant are the oracle bone inscriptions that reveal the emotional bond between Fu Hao and King Wuding. Among the surviving divination records, over 200 mention Fu Hao by name. Wuding, it seems, was utterly devoted to his wife, so much so that he turned to divination for matters both trivial and critical. Will Fu Hao's toothache subside? He asked the spirits. Is Fu Hao with child? And as her time drew near, she is about to give birth. Will mother and child both survive? Tragically, Fu Hao died young, in her 30s. Wuding's grief was immeasurable. Rather than follow convention, he buried her near his own palace, the place where he governed the kingdom, as though only by keeping her close could he bear to face each day without her. He returned to her grave again and again, offering sacrifices in her name through every ritual form he knew, and even that was not enough. Through divination, he arranged for Fu Hao's spirit to be betrothed, in name, to several of the great kings who came before, entreating his ancestors to watch over his wife in the world beyond. In an age before rigid hierarchies had fully confined women to the margins of history, Fu Hao stands as a testament to what female strength could achieve. And in the bones of the earth, 3,000 years on, the devotion of a king still speaks. If you wish to see these treasures of this legendary female general for yourself, here's your guide. Our first stop, the National Museum of China in Beijing. Step into the ancient China Hall, where you'll encounter 2 extraordinary artifacts. The first is the Homu Wuding, weighing 832 kilograms. This is not only the largest bronze vessel ever unearthed in China, but the largest ancient bronze artifact ever discovered anywhere in the world. Nearby stands another masterpiece from Fu Hao's tomb, the Fu Hao Soul Dune. In Shang culture, the owl was a creature of power and mystery, a messenger between the living and the spirit world. This bronze wine vessel, with its piercing, unblinking eyes, stands as one of the defining works of Shan dynasty bronze art. Our second stop, Anyang, Henan Province, home to Yinshu and its museum. Just a 2.5-hour high-speed train ride from Beijing, the newly built Yinshu Museum, completed in 2024, offers a world-class audio-visual experience. 2026 marks the 50th anniversary of the discovery of Fu Hao's tomb, promising even more immersive exhibitions for visitors. don't miss the original site of Fuhol's tomb, preserved within a sunken structure. Descend the steps to a depth of 7 meters, standing exactly where Professor Junjun San first uncovered this portal to history in 1976. Here, time seems to stand still, and the silence carries the weight of millennia. In 1976, as the muddy water was pumped from the pit and the bronze artifacts emerged into the light, Fuhol proved something profound. The oracle bone inscriptions were not myths, but history. The unearthed drainage pipes, fossilized pork, elephants roaming the central plains, and even a Shan king's anxious inquiry about his wife's toothache, all of these speak the same truth. They were not just primitive symbols of a distant past. They were people who lived, loved, and feared just as we do. The Shan people were obsessed with divination, winemaking, and sacrifice. They believed the dead needed companionship and that their ancestors watched over everything. But beneath the glittering prosperity of this great city, a deadly crisis lurked. As Shan kings demanded ever more brutal killings to barter with the gods for power, a tribe called the Zhou was rising on the western horizon. Next time, we journey to the final battlefield of the Shan dynasty. In 1046 BCE, a single battle brought down the dynasty that had endured for 6 centuries. This was the first documented transfer of power in Chinese history confirmed by archaeology, a pivotal moment that redefined how Chinese people understood authority and divine right, altering the entire course of their civilization. Over 3 millennia, this conflict would evolve into an epic myth, weaving together heroes, gods, intrigue, and celestial destiny, China's very own Iliad. But the true history is far more gripping than any legend. Stay tuned.